Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mila. You're at my book nook. Wow, I don't know what just happened. Whoops. So I will apologize in advance for whatever the lighting situation creates. I do have it fairly light in terms of like editing wise. What? Can I just do that? Can I just do that? Okay. Hopefully my tablet won't fall. If I'm looking over here, I'm looking at the screen mirroring. My phone's being mirrored. If I'm looking down here, I have a whole PowerPoint presentation for you guys. And today's video, we're going to talk about Kindles versus Kobos. Now, I cannot for the life of me find my Kobo Sage. I don't know where it went. I gave it to my sister. I don't know what happened to it. Should have just kept it with me and given it to her in spirit, I guess. I don't know where it is. I genuinely do not know where it is. So I have the Kobo Sage. It has an 8-inch screen. It's flush with the screen. And is it flush with the screen? I think it's flush with the screen. Or no. Sorry, hold on a second. Yeah, it's flush with the screen. The screen's like, it's all, anyways. And I have the pen as well, and the Kobo Sage has buttons. The Kobo Sage is also one of the more expensive parts of the Kobo lineup, and I got it secondhand off of Facebook Marketplace for $150, which included the Kobo itself, the case, and the pen. So I got a really good deal. New, just the Kobo Sage is $300, not including the case, not including the pen if you are like big on annotating. And it does not come back in color. It's black and white. The Kindle I have purely for video purposes, and because I wanted a Kindle. Why the hell not? I wanted a little thing, you know? This is the Kindle Paperwhite 12th generation. This is like it's not the Kindle Basic, but it's the upper one after the Kindle Basic. The only reason why I didn't get the Kindle Basic is because it doesn't have warm light. And I use warm light, like on a regular basis. So there's that. So we're just going to go through, some pros and cons of Kindle versus Kobo and the verdict. Which one should you buy? That kind of thing. So we will start with Kobos because I love Kobos. I love myself a good Kobo. So pros. Kobo is Canadian. Now, the main company is Japanese, but specifically the Kobo branch of the e-readers, their headquarters is in Canada. And the CEO is pretty awesome. He's active on Threads, and we recently had like an interaction, which was really cool. It has buttons, so the Sage and the Libra, I believe, at the moment, those are the only two that have buttons. So it's not like the Aces that has been discontinued. It has pen option, pen configurations, pen optimization, I guess that's the word. Sage, the Libra, and the Ellipsa, which is the Kobo version of the Scribe, have pen configurations. There are two options for color for the Kobo Clara color and the Kobo Libra. So the Kobo Sage and the Kobo Ellipsa only come in black. The Kobo Clara color, and the Kobo Libra come in black or white as the sort of band around. And you can always get like stickers and stuff for like your e-readers and just put the different stickers, but if you want the white one, you can get the white one. And I believe the Kobo Clara, I don't know if it's available in stores. I believe a pre-order was open a while ago. I don't know if it's available in stores at the moment, but anyways, one of the other pluses of the Kobos is the battery life. Battery life is insane. I'm telling you, if I pulled out my old Kobo Clara HD before the revamp and everything, it will last for weeks. Maybe not weeks, but it would last for a very long time, which is a great thing because e-readers are mainly for reading. So it takes very little battery life. And a lot of them do have pretty big batteries in general. Like, it's not a phone. It's not multifunctional in the sense of a phone. And also the screen is different, so I believe that takes up little power. Well, it also depends on your reading habits and the brightness and whether or not you're connected to the Wi-Fi or the Bluetooth, because those are big battery drainers in everything, really. Then we have also Kobo Plus. Kobo Plus is the Kobo equivalent to Kindle Unlimited, where you can get popular books for free, essentially, for a small fee, or you can even buy the book for a lower price. It's about $1 to $3 difference from the list price, which sometimes can make a big difference. Like, that's the difference between a book being $15 and a book being like $10. You know, like it's quite a big jump if you think about it. So I had Kobo Plus for a while. And another thing that I really like about Kobo Plus is there's not a limit for the books that you can like check out, like unlike Kindle Unlimited. What is it with the K's, man? And so there's no checkout limit, unlike with Kindle Unlimited, where you can only have 20 books out at a time, which is similar to how a library works. You have a limited number of checkouts. And another thing I like is you can also get the audiobook subscription, and it doesn't have another, like, you don't need to download another app. It's in the Kobo app, and that's it. And you can listen to audiobooks on the newer Kobos. You can listen to audiobooks via Bluetooth headphones. However, they have to be taken from like the Kobo catalog, which makes sense. You can't import your own audiobooks, but you know, yeah. It also supports a variety of formats. EPUB, PDF. I can literally open images. Like, it's great. I can't really tell you beyond that because I almost exclusively read an EPUB. But yeah, and it supports a bunch of languages as well. But we'll get to that a little bit after because there is a con to that for me personally. For others, might not be, but for me personally, there is a con. And obviously the audiobook with the Bluetooth, and if you are in what is most commonly known as the Commonwealth, Canada, UK, or Australia, your Libby integration is going to be on the Kobos. Okay, so do not get a Kindle if you are planning on using Libby. If your library uses Libby and you want to be able to read ebooks on an e-reader, do not get a Kindle because you will not be able to use your library card for Libby integration on the Kindle. Get a Kobo. So if you're Canadian like me, if you're from the UK, if you're from Australia, Kobo is the way to go. You can always get a Kindle, I don't really care. But to make your life easier, get a Kobo. Now we have Kindle Pros. We have Kindle Unlimited. It's good for indie authors. It also has some like popular books for like this low monthly price. And it also has, one thing I've noticed is whenever people like buy a Kindle and they do like a whole video about it, there's constantly like this 3-month KU thing. Maybe it's purely for new users of a Kindle or whatever. I don't know if it works with if you already have a Kindle and then you get a new one. Like, does that also work with the new one? Is it just every time you get a new Kindle? Or is it purely for those that have never had Kindle Unlimited before? I don't know. But I got a deal. It's like $11.99 for like 3 months or whatever. Or something for 3 months. I don't remember. And so it just seems like there's constant promotions for the Kindle Unlimited subscription. It is incredibly fast. I don't know if it's because my Kobo Sage is secondhand and on the slower end, but the Kindle is so fast. It is so fast, like incredibly fast. Maybe it's because mine is new, but it is incredibly fast. I find that the syncing with Libby on the Kindle versus the Kobo, it's faster on the Kindle. I find that the Kobo one is just a little slower, like it takes a little longer. I find that I turn off airplane mode and then it connects to my Wi-Fi and then it syncs and that's it. Like, it's done in like 30 seconds. But on my Kobo, maybe it's because I have a Kobo Sage and it's a little older and it's used, like it's secondhand. But yeah. Another thing that I like about specifically my Paperwhite is that it is bigger than the Kobo Clara that I have, and I believe it would in general be bigger than the Kobo Claras because the Kobo Claras are, I believe, 6 inches and this one is like 7.8 or something like that. Actually, let me grab my Kobo Clara or Clara, whatever you want to call it. I seriously do not know where my Sage is. This is really pissing me off. Maybe my mom does, but so this is my old Kobo. This is the first Kobo I've ever had, and I made a personalized like screensaver. I do have a video. I will have a video on how to do this at some point. But it just says Alexandrian Archives, which is my Instagram or Bookstagram. It's probably dead, not gonna lie. But it's just the difference is quite stark, I think. It's significant to be, it's not that big, but it's still big, you know. I don't know where my sage is. I don't know. Otherwise, I would definitely like compare it, but I don't know where my sage is. And another thing that I like about the Kindle, which is one of the primary reasons I wanted to buy it, is a lot of the customization options, like cases and, you know, mainly cases and stuff. And just like a lot of the e-reader content is catered towards Kindle users. There are plenty of fantastic creators that support Kobo. I love Kobo. Don't get me wrong. I'm like Kobo's #1 fan. Please work with me. I would love to collab. But one thing that I wanted is I wanted a cute case. Okay? I wanted a cute case that wasn't Almond Blossom by Van Gogh as a case. And I could not find any cute cases that would suit me for my Kobo Sage. I just had the official Kobo Sage case that was like the black one that came with the case, and I just put stickers on it to customize it. I couldn't find a really nice case. I couldn't find any nice clear cases with the flap, because now there are cases with the flap that have a clear back. I could not find that for Kobo Sage. And it was kind of ticking me off because I was like, this is so frustrating. And it's purely because the Kobo Sage is not a super popular product in the lineup. So there isn't a lot of demand. So yeah, so that's one thing. Like, I got this really cute case. It reminds me of like sort of the Moroccan tiles, and that's one reason why I got it. I really like this case. And it's like this cork material. Like, you can even see the little, I don't know if you can see the sort of imperfections, so to speak, but you can like, there's like little holes and stuff. So it has a little bit of character. And you can't find something like this for a Kobo Sage, unfortunately. Another thing is, I speak Russian. I am half Russian. I'm fluent in Russian. And I am currently reading Lord of the Rings, the first book at least, in Russian. And one thing that the Kobo don't have versus the Kindles do have is the ability to have your e-reader in Russian. The Kobo has a built-in Russian dictionary. Now, there is a workaround it for the Kobos. You literally search up Russian dictionary Kobo download. You hit like the first link or whatever, you download it, and then you put it onto your Kobo. And voila, done. However, that's it. You have to do it yourself. It's not built in. Another thing is, I can literally go into the settings and switch the language to Russian. I can have my Kindle in Russian. So for example, if I wanted to buy a Kindle for, let's say, my dad, who prefers to read in Russian, I could buy him a Kindle, he could switch it to Russian, and voila, done. Everyone's happy, you know? Or if I want to buy one for my grandparents who speak majorly Russian, they barely not, you know, they speak, like my grandma speaks English, but she's not comfortable in it, I guess, reading-wise. So, like, if she wants an e-reader and she wants the ability to be able to have it in Russian because it's easier for her to sort of categorize and process, I would get her a Kindle, because Kobos do not have that built in A, dictionary, and B, I cannot set my Kobo to Russian, which is a bummer, because how are you not going to include the 5th most spoken language in the world, you know? And it's not just Russians that speak the language, it's also those that are from like a country that was part of the Soviet Union, and etc., etc. And maybe some people learned Russian. Like, there's so many Russian speakers around the world, and one of the biggest e-reader companies does not have Russian language support. Like, it's politics aside, why? You know, like why? Why do you not have that support? I don't understand. Anyways, that's my little rant. Okay. The cons for the Kobos. And I hate to say that there are cons for the Kobos, but there are cons for the Kobo. So my Kobo Sage, as I said, is slow. I do have a video of, I'll link it. I have a video of where I like talk about my Kobo. It's a review of the Kobo Sage specifically after like a month of having it. And there's literally a portion where it like freezes. Like, you see on camera it freezing. And I think partly it's because it's secondhand, and partly maybe I have a faulty version I don't know. Again, I bought it off of Facebook Marketplace for a really good price, and I can't really complain about it, to be honest. So mine freezes. The screen doesn't react sometimes when I press the buttons, and it ticks me off big time because then I actually have to press on the screen, which isn't that big of a deal, but I don't know, it just sort of takes you out because you expect the buttons to function. Because otherwise, why are they there? Yes, that's another thing. The Kobo Libra is only available in color. I cannot get a Kobo Libra in black and white. I love the form factor. I love the buttons. I love the fact that it comes in white because I find that white I find white more appealing when devices come in like a lighter color other than black. But I can't get the color, like I can't get it in black and white anymore. Not off the official Kobo website, and on Facebook people are selling it for $200. I'm like, this is like an out of stock item. They don't sell these anymore. Why are you selling it for $200? It maximum should be $150, you know? Because it doesn't have pen functionality, I don't think. So it's like, really? Like, come on, please. Pull yourself together. Another thing is limited personalization options. For the Kobo Libra, I find in the Kobo Clara there are more cases options and stuff like that, but that's because they're really popular. For me personally, for the Kobo Sage, and just Kobo in general, I think there isn't as many personalization options in terms of like cases as there are for Kindles, right? Because some of them, like the Kobo Clara, are sort of a universal 6-inch size. So the Kindle Basic and the Kobo Clara are roughly the same size. So if you get a case for the Kindle Basic, you can get the same case relatively easily for the Kobo Clara. But for the bigger ones, it's a little bit of a hassle. And the other con is, the Kobo Plus catalog is not as vast, although I found a lot of classics are on Kobo Plus, which is great. I think that makes them incredibly more accessible, which is great, but it's just not as vast Kindle, unlimited wise. Just the comparison. I see the comparison. I see why people say it, but I haven't really read that many books on Kindle Unlimited in general, but it's just not as fast, although it's growing, which is great. And they don't have limits, they don't have an exclusivity clause like KU has, because Amazon wants to screw over authors, and I believe they have a larger percentage that goes to the author in terms of like royalties, which is great, fantastic, all power to you. And again, with the rant, Kobo doesn't have Russian support. I had to download a Russian dictionary myself, which is feasible for someone like me who was young and tech-abled and everything, and I don't have a problem. But if you're buying a Kobo for someone whose language is not supported, it might be difficult for them if they are not as tech-savvy, And what if the interface just straight up doesn't support Kobo? Like, I've had instances where I've downloaded a book in Russian, and it's just, like the rectangles when the system doesn't recognize the letter. That's what I've gotten. Or it's like question marks and random symbols. So it just doesn't fully, it's not fully optimized for even Russian. 5th most spoken language in the world. That would be, out of everything, that would be my biggest critique for Kobo. How are you going to have such a wide audience and not have Russian support? And so the cons for Kindle. Another pro I found funny with the Kindle is that you can name the Kindle, and you can't do that with a Kobo. So anyways, Kindle, it's made by Amazon. I don't know what I can tell you. Like, that's all you really need to know. It's made by Amazon. That's it. That's the biggest con of them all. You are locked into Amazon. You can jailbreak it, but some of you might not be as tech savvy as others and might not want to Kindle, because these are expensive. These are not cheap. These are pricey for the average person that maybe works a minimum wage job or maybe earns like $50K a year or whatever. This is not this is a big purchase, right? So you never know if it will work or crash the Kindle, and then it's like, what are you gonna say? Be like, hey, I tried to jailbreak my Kindle and it freaking crashed on me, and be like, Amazon support, please send me a second. Well, it doesn't make sense, right? Another thing is, which I didn't have because I'm in Canada, woohoo, only time when being Canadian is a positive thing in terms of tech, I guess. There are ads on Kindles in the US. And there's a version with ads, and then there's a version without ads that's like $20 more. And there used to be a hack where you would go to Amazon support and be like, hey, these ads are inappropriate. But then they would just be like, okay, they'll just change them. Or they'll be like, oh, you need to pay like $20. And I'm kind of glad that we don't have to deal with the ads and stuff. But no, look at it. I don't know. I love this Kindle so much, you know? Let me just put it down. Can you see it better? I just, look at this. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Amazing. Wonderful. Sorry. Another thing that I find is I might have to do like a test of it or something like that if I can find my Kobo. How do I lose that big? It's not even small. How do I even lose it? It's a big... I swear I saw it somewhere. I don't remember where I saw it. But anyways, sorry, I'm just crashing out. Oh my god, where's my Kobo? Anyways, I've noticed that the Kindle doesn't charge as fast as, for example, my Kobo does. Like if I put it on, let's say it's at 50%, I put it on, it just doesn't charge very fast. Like it'll get to like 60 in like 20 minutes. Whereas my Kobo will get to like, I don't know, 80 or something like that in the same amount of time. Like my Kobo charges really, really fast. And I don't know if it's just my device. I don't know if it's the charger I'm using, although I've been using different chargers, but they're not really like super different from each other. But yeah, that's another con that I have with the Kindle. Not my biggest complaint, but one of them. Although the battery life's great so far. So, what is the verdict? Mila, you ask. You have given me the pros and cons for both the Kobo and the Kindle. What do you recommend? I recommend whatever your heart desires. No, I'm kidding. I have a couple of pointers for how you can choose. If you are in the Commonwealth and use the library and you're going to use ebooks, and this is confirmed if you are in Canada, UK, Australia, and I think there's a couple of other countries that it might work with. So check the Kobo website. Kobo. Get the Kobo. If you're already in the KU system, if you have had an Amazon Kindle, if you want to try it out, if you want to support indie authors, if you are going to pay the price for the Kindle Unlimited subscription, and if you are in the US and are going to use Libby, get the Kindle. If you want the pens and the buttons, get the Kobo. Okay, if you want the buttons, get the Kobo. If you want the pens, get the Kobo. If you want the pens and the buttons, get a Kobo. If you want color, I personally would go for a Kobo, because if we compare the price, let's say Canadian, right? We compare the price with, let's say, where is it? Kobo, Kindle, Color Soft, right? This is Canadian, by the way, because I'm Canadian. Kobo, Libra, Color, right? Kobo, Clara, Color. If we compare the price of the Kindle Color Soft, right, to the Kobo Libra Color and then to the Kobo Clara Color, there is quite a big difference. So the Kindle Color Soft, the newest edition, the newest version, is $264.99. So $270 plus taxes. I don't know, right? The Kobo Libra is $259.99. So there's like $5 difference in the set price. Sorry, 264. Yeah, $264.99. So let's say 265. I'd say almost $300, right? The Kobo Libra would also come to probably like $280 taxes wise. And then the Kobo Clara Color, which is what? 6 inches, right? I believe, yeah, 6 inches. The Amazon Kindle is 7 inches. And then the Kobo Libra is also 7 inches. So the Kobo Clara is $189.99. So I'd say like $220, I'd say, roughly. So honestly, price-wise, I would, if you don't need the buttons, go for the Clara. Again, going back to like if you're using KU or if you're in the Commonwealth or if you're using the library, like, you know, I feel like the Kobo Clara is the best bang for your buck that you will get in terms of money-wise. But like, hey, you know, but yeah, if you have one, if you want to buy one for a child, for a teen, for a minor Kindle, I'm gonna say Kindle in this case because the Kindle, there is a kids version. And instead of creating a whole new account, you create like a profile on your account. And that way they don't have access to your card information. They have to get like approval for certain books. And I believe for 6 or months or a year, you get Kindle Kids like free, right? With like the subscription is free. So I think I'm going to buy a Kindle Colorsoft Kids for my sister. I'm not sure yet. I'm still debating it. If I don't know, I would go with the Kindle, to be honest. If money wasn't a problem. If I could choose, I would go with the Kindle Kids. But Kobo, if you want to just buy them like the cheapest, which would be like the Kobo Nia, but you're going to limit their access to like Wi-Fi and you're not going to add a card to it or whatever, because the thing with Kobos is you can buy them on the Kobo itself, so you have a card connected to your Kobo account. And it's just, I don't know, it's a little difficult to implement some restrictions, whereas the Kindle Kids has restrictions already in place to protect you and your money from being used by a child, So yeah, so that's it for this video. I know it was long, I know it was a little rambly and ranty and stuff like that, but I hope you enjoyed. And with that being said, I will link the products down below. I will link all my socials down below. Let me know if you have any questions, concerns, your thoughts, all that stuff, and I will see you in the next one. Happy reading!